Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of RLG Cast Reviews. I'm here with Putty the Puttyman and JD the Donut Man. Today we're talking about Daredevil Born Again, the new series, but it's the old series, but it's a new one again on Disney Plus, even though it's old and new and old and new and then new and old.
Everything old is
Putty,
new again.
that's true, it happens. Putty, tell us what it's about.
It's about him being born again and coming back to being that guy that he was before again. You know, but yeah, so that's the slogan right there. It's a rebirth of the old uh, Daredevil series in its own particular way, which really works in my eyes. But it hits hard quickly. It hits you like square in the face, and it does a good job of it, I think. Like I was there in that rage in that moment, so. But yeah, we get back into the whole idea of him conflicting with being the devil or not. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean,
All right, well, this is good. I think this will be a good review, to be honest. So we'll go no spoilery in the beginning. The first episode will not count because that is
Yeah,
literally
it's
the
the first
first
episode. It's the
episode.
first scene.
yeah,
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 so we
yeah.
we won't count that as spoilers, but we'll give you spoilers after. We'll try to do quick. We'll give you the scores and then we'll get
Well,
out.
I think you can still go around everything without having to bring up everything else. It's based on the backlash of what happens in the first episode.
That's why I
It's
said we can talk
really.
about the first episode for sure.
Yeah. But
Um,
it's more of a hidden meaning. Like I'm going to say this right now. Something big happens. If you don't want to be spoiled now, just kind of drop out of this. Is it makes something happen bad that's going to end up in being the whole story arc of the whole thing, on how it connects and everything. You know what I mean?
well, let's
So,
arc these
uh,
stories.
okay.
And I thought it was gonna connect to like the storyline, the comics, but they didn't.
It's not connected at all to the comics, so
No, I
Mm.
thought they were
it's
gonna do that.
it's an odd choice that they picked Born Again and then didn't
Mm, Follow Born Again.
follow Born Again. Um, it's fine. I'm glad they didn't redo season three of Daredevil, which is like
Hmm
what they were that seemed like what they were trying to do. Because wasn't season three Born
Mhm.
Again?
Similar, yeah.
How many? There's three seasons of the original one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This was a show. It definitely it showed.
Yeah.
It's very, very, in my opinion, far off from the first series.
Yeah.
Like the gap between them is huge.
They went
Um,
more
Yeah.
mature with this too.
Oh yeah. Oh
then
yeah.
in what sense?
Like,
Then Marvel, because it's not more mature than the original Daredevil series.
I think so.
I think so too.
It's extremely edgelordy.
Well,
So I'll give you my take since I think I'm going to be on the
okay.
other end of this. I think that um it's decently written. I
Hmm
think it has a crutch of using really edgy situations instead of actually being a really real and grounded raw show. It tries to be like edgelordy, like I said, and
Yeah.
then it also has a tendency to use shock factor moments instead of having well-written twists.
I
Like
found the
not
pacing too was a little off.
I don't really mind the slow burn. It's just that there's not a lot of actual story
Well,
growth in any of them.
Yeah.
The
what
characters
do
are
you
really
mean?
well done. I think the character growth is good, but the story growth throughout the series is very poor, and
Yeah.
it struggles to tell a story at all. And when it does introduce you to things like the villain who is Muse, people seen the
Yeah.
trailers. He's not good at all. It's a
No,
terrible villain,
the actor is
and
not even very good. He
I mean,
wasn't
No.
even well portrayed.
I kind of like the acting as a whole, except for one very glaring situation. And I don't even know if any of us ever talked about this together, but Gandolfini's son is so
Hmm
bad, like so ridiculously bad that it took me out of the show. Every single scene he was in, I was
Yeah.
like, why is he in this show? It
Was he
was, huh?
He was his aide.
team use?
He
Oh,
was the
okay,
kid
okay,
that
okay,
works with him.
okay,
That
okay.
kid
Never
that
mind. No,
works
okay,
with yeah.
okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was
Um,
like it wasn't like it was written for him in a cringy way.
No,
It
it
felt
just
like he was reading the cue
the
cards
line.
while he was
Yeah.
acting in a cringy way. Like I mean I'm not trying to just throw it out there. I'm making my stake for the claim
No,
because I
and
feel like both of
I
you are
completely
planning to
agree
go
with
high
that
on this
too.
show and I'm not.
I'm no. Don't it's not high for me either. I'll tell you that.
I thought it's the first how many episodes is it? Nine?
Nine, which is a
The
weird
first yeah.
episode count too.
The first 5 episodes are very okay, and then the last 3 episodes pick up a lot. Um,
Episode 8 felt like it was the best one.
yeah, it was definitely the best one. The the CGI is terrible. They have a way too much of an over reliance on using it, especially in outdoor scenes for no
Apparently, it
reason.
was all AI generated.
That's awful. The camera shots are very static, and the cinematography like rarely moves, and it's all small rooms, and it's poorly lit, and it's poorly a poor color palette. It's like the
Yeah.
filters are ugly. Um, I do think the filming of the action sequences is really good, and I do think the choreography is good. It's just they
There wasn't
don't
enough of it.
generally feel as good as the original show. Like they don't feel as hard hitting. It feels very slow paced. Um, if I
Like
had to make
really,
a
you only
comparison,
get out of in 9 episodes, really you get maybe what, 3 episodes where Daredevil's actually like,
but you get a couple extra fight scenes more than
yeah.
that. It feels very WWE, where the original series felt more like indie wrestling. It was very hard hitting and like realistic, and this was very choreographed and like slow paced.
Yeah.
That's all I have. You guys can give your complete takes on it right now.
I kind of agree with you in that respect too. I found, like I said, I felt it suffered a little bit from pacing. It's like it in terms of like not the slow burn, but it jumped to jump to jump. Like the first 3 episodes are about White Tiger, and then you're about Muse, and then it's about the, you know what I mean? Even though there's an overarching story, it's like 3 episodes, it was like three little mini series, and I felt that that's where the pacing suffered with this overarching storyline, and that's for me where I think the pacing suffered a little bit. And like I said, I love Daredevil. And when they thought about Born Again, I thought they were going to do the Frank Miller run, which they didn't.
But I think it's good because this
Yeah,
season 3 is literally Born Again.
is the Miller with minus the heroin addict.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but which is good in a way. But then again, it's like I don't know. I like you said, Muse, like the character itself, I didn't feel that connection to a villain.
I didn't really care that I don't think his writing as a character was off. I think the way he's put into this show
It
doesn't
felt
fit.
shoehorned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like it becomes a storyline for like an episode and a half, and then it's just over, and you're like, well, okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Putty, go ahead.
Well, I think that was you're talking about the one in the bank episode.
No, the bank episode is
No,
not Muse.
it's completely different.
Oh no, you're
Muse
talking,
is
okay. Okay, news. Okay, going back to the other one. Okay, so then that makes me go back to the news because here's the thing. You guys said this same thing with the Muse. I liked him as the Muse, as his off character, the one. I mean, have we gotten to the point of spoilers at this
No,
point? 'Cause
we
we didn't really
haven't.
go.
no.
No.
You
See,
like him as the actual person who is Muse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but see, the thing is, the foreshadowing to it was too easy. The what the darker approach of this to me is the situation where it feels more of a um shock value, more of an emotional weight than it is in what's really good in Daredevil, which is in action and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? A lot more of that. This felt like it had more of it was trying to hit you because of the original fatality in the series, and that ends up being, the catalyst for the whole dramatic approach up and down and everything. So it feels like it feels like he's a lot weaker than he was before. Does that make sense? Like Daredevil isn't as strong as what he could have taken before. Like
But
Yeah,
he's
again,
we'll,
he
we'll
also
talk about
more
that
took
in the
he
so
also took
spoilers.
a year off from Daredevil in
yeah.
the show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
So
not counting that.
But still, my point to the whole thing is I agree with that. My whole thing with the show is it's the whole Fisk aspect of things. I think it's the best part of it. And
Yeah.
it's honestly the reason why I would give it a higher score is because of that. And this goes back to the Penguin review where it was like, if you give me a story like that, this could be an amazing, amazing show. Does that make
But it
sense?
constantly felt like they were trying to do that penguin style thing, like literally beat for beat. But then every
yeah,
time it
Yeah,
started building, and that's okay because it was good. Every time it got started building up, they just diverted to something else that didn't
yeah,
matter. And it's like
yeah, exactly.
that's what I was saying. The writing from the story aspect doesn't develop well. It's like on
no,
paper the story is good, but the way that it comes together and like grows, it doesn't. It's not good.
yeah.
The
The
characters
concept
are
was
so
good. Yeah,
good, and the characters don't fit into the story that they're telling.
yeah,
Well, prime example, a reoccurring character that's not that reoccurring, but is a major part of the series, if you guys know what I'm talking about. When that person comes back, it doesn't have as much. weight to it as it did
Gravitas.
before. Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing that took me out of that was because you felt like you won in the beginning, but then it completely ignored it and brought it back, like it's trying to just hold on to you from falling asleep in the situation. I know it sounds horrible in saying it that way, but it's like trying to keep you interest in the story, and it really didn't. It kind of took me out of it, back out of it for some reason. I'm like, oh, we're revisiting this. This doesn't feel like it's been really
Yeah.
like brought up anymore in the situation. He has moved on. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
good spoilers anyway.
Yeah, we can talk
Um,
about it more when we get into spoilers for sure.
I really liked a lot of the Easter eggs and references. I thought those
Hmm.
were all good. I thought the cameos were fun enough. I agree with what Putty said to an extent,
Yeah.
with the person that shows up. But I do. I mean, there are really good elements of the show. Some of the dialogue is excellent, especially when Fisk is talking to Matt Murdock. Like when
Oh yeah,
when Kingpin
when
and
they're in the diner, yeah,
whenever they're on screen together, the dialogue is like
their
amazing. But then
chemistry is good. Yeah,
a lot of the
Yeah.
dialogue between Fisk and his like cronies is really bad.
yeah. What's his name?
Yeah.
Duffy, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
and then a lot of the talking between Matt Murdock and like his people that he works with was so bad. I was like, why are you even giving us these scenes? Just make the episode 5 minutes shorter.
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
Right.
None
I
of it
really didn't
matters.
care for
Do you think I care if his
for the
partner wants
therapist.
to know? Like, do you think I care if the partner at his job, that girl, wants to know what he's up to? I don't care because I
Yeah,
don't even know
Yeah.
who she is.
I don't even think she's related to the comic, is she?
I don't know, but she's not like she comes into the show at the start as like a point that's going to be important and then just disappears
Mm-hmm.
and then pops up
Yeah.
randomly to be like, why doesn't he ever talk to me about what's happening? Like, oh, nobody cares about you. Um, Putty, give us a score.
Oh God, I haven't really thought what my score is going to be. 7.
Wow, the hell! You said it was really good.
You said
No,
you were going to give it a high score
when did I say I was going to give it a high
That was
score?
right when we started. Okay,
right when
go,
we
JD.
started.
Give us a score.
I'm right up there too, 6, 9, 7.
I'm at like a 7-2. Because I don't think it was a bad show, but I
It's
think
watchable.
when you hold it up next to the original series, it's nothing in comparison. But I think when you hold it up next to like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and Moon Knight and stuff like
Yeah,
that, it's actually like you're like, okay, well, at least Marvel's trying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I wouldn't put it in the upper tier, but it's like
No,
they're 4 out of 9 episodes are really good.
yeah,
I like the bank episode and I like the
yeah.
last 3 episodes. The
The
rest of
the
it
the
was just
black and
kind
white
of
ball episode was really
yeah.
good. Yeah,
The rest of the episodes are just whatever.
yeah.
Like
They're
I wouldn't
skippable.
point at them and say bad, but you'll watch it and be like, okay, like
Yeah,
you could have compressed I think those other 4 or 5 episodes into like 2 episodes of
and did
time.
a 6 episode miniseries.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. We
Yeah.
both spoilers.
Spoiler room
I didn't
brawl.
care at all when Foggy died. Didn't at all.
No, had no weight
See,
to it.
but
It was
okay,
all
okay,
shock
no,
factor. It was
Yeah,
all that's what I was saying, and you even mentioned it yourself, Putty. They took
yeah.
all of the well-written twists that you would normally have in a show and just replaced them with shock factor moments.
hmm,
Like,
No,
oh,
and I agree with you.
Punisher
Yeah,
showed
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Kill, 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 kill. Bye, Punisher. What that
yeah.
wasn't a twist. That
We'll
just
see
was
you in the
like
finale.
the hell?
Well, see, that was the thing. That was the only thing I could see that really kept me emotionally weighted with him as a character was, it was because of the death that happened. Because I mean, we had a lot of time with him before and everything, and I remember I by myself I started watching some of the episodes going leading into this, and Foggy was a major character. You know what I mean? It's just so that hit me. It did hit me. But then it was everything afterwards where it's shifting from so many different storylines because there's him working out the bank and everything, and he's all connected to all of them. Because the one that worked at the bank, it just felt like it just came out of nowhere. Now that's a great episode, don't get me wrong, but it's also oddly just not in doesn't fit into the canon of everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a shoehorned episode, and
I mean,
so
there is a series in the comic run where Karen Page, Foggy's not dead, and Karen is hiding him. And I think,
Which is what which listen to what I'll tell you now.
mm,
They specifically said that in season 2, Foggy and her will return. So
yeah,
if for
see,
Foggy to return must mean he's not dead.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
agree. Because remember, at the end of the episodes 8, was it? Um, they don't catch Bullseye. He escapes, so he's still at large.
Anyways,
Hmm.
I think I don't really care about that. I don't need either of those characters. Like this
Yeah.
season made me realize I don't need Karen or Foggy. They don't add and contribute anything.
Well,
No.
I would have preferred to have back um Ahsoka. I can't think of what her name is, the actress.
Oh, Rosario Dawson
Yeah, I would have
as
rather have had her
Nightingale.
back than had either one of those. She contributed so much more emotional storyline than either of
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah. She
guys
was
did.
really good as Nightingale. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
also, like kind of what Putty said there, when he dies, it sets the tone in the next episode at the beginning of like this is why Matt Murdock's like that, and then until other moments where they have to drop exposition on you about how Matt's feeling, they don't ever you don't care about Foggy anymore. It's like he just okay, don't worry about it. Then
yeah.
when we
Yeah.
need it as a crutch, they bring it back and they're like, "Oh, remember that Foggy died?"
Well, like I said, like I said, there's elements because the thing is, when what's her name, Karen? Is it Karen? When she finally comes back at the end, that's the part I was talking about that just didn't make sense to me because at this point we've already forgotten about her. He's in another relationship with a psychiatrist, and that whole twist right there was a nice little twist for things. And then even with the part with since we're in spoilers now, with was it I forgot the character's name, Muse, um, he actually. I hated I like I already knew this was happening. When he approached her and said he was a fan, he needed a personal meeting. I'm like, there's something weird about him. And it was literally when he came into the thing that I realized, okay, I put it together. It is him. You know what I mean? Which they made pretty easy in the first place. But I didn't like that side of him. Like I felt like it was just bad acting. It was not. It was over dramatic and everything. And but
Yeah.
then when he turns into the muse, I was like, okay, this fits this character a little bit more. You know what I mean? He's lost his freaking mind. You know what I mean? But then there's other things like, for example, the part about the kingpin's wife, the guy on the side,
Adam.
him, yeah. Even that whole storyline it felt like it was dragging on a little bit too long, and I thought he killed him at one point, but then no, he was still alive down, and she ended up, pulling
Yeah.
the trigger. That whole storyline right there was the one thing that made me go, I don't know how to feel about this because I like that they're going making sure to remind you how Kingpin and his wife are just this, these two diabolical things. But
Yeah.
like, I guess I'm just waiting for the
She
situation where
is
there's
never
more Daredevil
established
to him.
though in the original series as being as like diabolical as she is in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
She kind of only in the original three seasons, she only exists as like his love, like I'll do anything for Vanessa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just the point of the whole thing is I feel like there were points that we thought the stories were going to still come together pretty nicely, which in some ways I guess and they did when he finds out that it was her that set it up on Foggy. You know what I mean? But at this point we had so many strands of this story going everywhere. I feel like that's where it really was making it hard to want to follow it in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like there's too much you're put in the background when you could have stayed on the same story. You know what I mean? And like you guys said, make it shorter then. Do it like a mini series, and it probably would have worked out better that way. But it just felt like they were trying to put too much of drama within a whole field. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They're trying to drag it a little bit.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. Like I did not care for any scenes with Heather Glenn, his therapist.
Oh, with him and her.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
did not
those
care
scenes were
for any of
so
those scenes.
bad.
Yeah.
The ones
It's
it was always focused in the kitchen too, and it's like this is so boring. Just get move on to the next scene. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
did
I
that a
don't know.
lot.
It's if you look at it, like I said, if you look at it in comparison to how the MCU's been post Endgame, it's like you would enjoy this show. I think any normal person would just enjoy this show.
Yeah.
But when I have seen the original run of it, and me being a huge Daredevil fan, just in general, like this was kind of like, oh, it's okay, I guess.
Yeah. Better than what anything they've put out recently, but it's still
Yeah, that's what I think. Like if you just gave me this show and told me watch it with nothing going on, just watch this show, I'd give it like a middle six. But because
Yeah.
I have such a glove for the character, and I do think in comparison to the other comic book stuff that's been coming out lately, this is pretty strong compared to that.
Yeah.
I have to go up a little bit.
My only thing is they teased us with all the suits and we didn't get any of them.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know,
they kept
right?
teasing that one suit and we didn't see it.
The black suit.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
apparently it's in season two.
The black and red suit.
Yeah, and there's a yellow suit in season two, apparently.
Well, he used the yellow suit in
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's right.
But there was like a black, there's the black and red, and there was like a silver one too.
But you see what I mean? How does Matt Murdock from, or Daredevil, whatever you want to say, from
Yeah.
She-Hulk, the same person that we get in this Daredevil? It's not at all the same person.
Or his
No.
lawyer from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, I would have liked him to date either Marissa Tomei or She-Hulk girl,
Yeah.
Jennifer Walters,
Jennifer Walters.
to be like, to have like an interesting link to the actual
Yeah.
MCU, because him dating his
Yeah.
lawyer means nothing. I'm assuming the lawyer lady is going to get killed in the second season,
Yeah,
and
because
that's
she's
gonna
working
be
for
like,
Fisk.
yeah, it's gonna be some kind
Yeah.
of motivation.
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
Punisher's gonna kill her, and it's gonna lead to a rift between him and Punisher.
Yeah. Because he
She's
does
working for
escape.
Fisk.
He does escape too. His
Yeah.
prison cell.
yeah.
Anthony, it's a good name. He's from Jersey, Anthony.
It's yeah, but like
Here's a fun
Gandolfini's
fact.
son,
John
like what's his name?
Barenthal's wife is Kurt Angle's niece.
Didn't we do this already?
I think so, maybe.
I feel like we did this already. I gotta look up the
Uh,
name. I'm sorry, because I don't want to just keep calling him Thing's son. Michael
Michael
Gandolfini is
Gandolfini.
like,
I could have told you that. Timmy has it right here for
he's
me.
bad, man. He's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Like his performance in the Sopranos movie, the
The
prequel
Saint
movie,
Many Saints of Newark.
compared to this, is like, how is this even the same person?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because he knows his dad so well, he was able to like
Mimic him.
mimic him. Because this was like a special kind of. This is top
He
five
was
worst
definitely
performances
special.
of this year. For me, of in 2025, that was top five worst performances in anything,
Yeah.
movies or TV.
Yeah.
And it's like glaring. It's not just like a little bit. Like you, every time he's on screen, you're like, how is this happening?
Yeah. And nothing against it's his inflection, the way he speaks. It just doesn't work for me.
It sounds like they just picked up a YouTuber that does like, you know how their intros are so like happy, like, hey guys, we're here. That's like, you know, like people that are like, hey, it's me, Pee Papa Putty Man, the Putty Man, Pee Papa Putty, and then they
Wow.
just put him in a TV show, and he's still acting like I'm recording a vlog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it feels like he's
Yeah.
literally reading the lines,
Yeah, he looked like he had the teleprompter in front of him the whole time.
and it was like, read this enthusiastically, and he's like, read this enthusiastically, and they're like, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I got
I don't have
nothing
anything else.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm already at that point.
All right, guys. Thanks for
right.
watching. Let us know what you think of the show in the comments, in the comments below,
comments.
and just call us stupid. We're pretty stupid. Okay, bye.